in a nutshell. We have the policy. I think Pete, I think I checked with you. We're going to try to post that on QM's SharePoint site so everyone can see it. But we just updated that this last December. So yes, Dr. Kissler.
Oh, my question was about the big space projects, like the Aloha Center, and how that fits in with our budget. Is that separate funding, including like all the equipment that goes with that?
Thank you. That's a very good question. So, big space requests like that. So, looking to establish a new lease or a new construction that goes through the Strategic Capital Investment Program. We have to submit a skip request up through the VISN that goes to central office, and the Capital Asset Board votes on those projects. So we're competing with other facilities when it comes to those kind of big things. That's separate from our station budget. They have a minor and major thresholds. Minors goes up to $10 million. Majors are 10 million and above 10 million. So Aloha is a major. We competed for that. We had submitted that several years ago. We're on the cusp of awarding that. But that's a big one. Yeah, so I'm not exactly sure how much the major was for Aloha. It's multi-million-dollar lease though.
So just to, I'll be the Paul Harvey. Okay. So leases we have to pay for, first of all. So whether it's the Windward CBOC that we're trying to establish, we did receive some BACA money for that. But typically all of our leased sites, including Aloha, which is a major lease by VA's classification, ultimately Gary writes that check. Major construction or minor construction projects, we receive first an authorization and then the funding, which is used to acquire land, when and if that is involved, designing the building or the facility, and constructing it. And there's a variety of different dollar thresholds for those, but as Patrick mentioned, a minor project, which usually is what you hear us talk about when we describe a Maui project or a Kauai project that we've been approved for, is up to 10 million, which is the VA's minor construction program. And then once you crest 10 million, you're heading towards what they determine to be a major construction project, which is a very lengthy process, I might add, as well, to get approved. So right now we have an approved major lease, which is the Aloha project. Offers have stepped up to the plate that have said they could provide us with a building on a nice piece of land in an area that we're interested with a lot of parking. And where that stands is that the offerers are setting up to receive solicitation packages from the VA sometime this spring. And again, as was mentioned, the Aloha project, it'll be slightly less the size of this building that you're in, with pretty much the same functionality, except we're going to have more outpatient rehab in it. Okay?
So to be specific to your question, thank you, Craig and Patrick, is currently Mr. Stockwell has been debating with our VISN CAM office to ensure that we have the funds locally for separate funding available for the Aloha, for activations as well as the tenant improvements and some other things. And so some of that money, so right now we have about $4.5 million currently for current year funds that we can use and utilize towards getting preparations and start preparing for Aloha. Right, and so what we're going to do is look at getting the contractor and help us do some project management stuff and really look at the staffing plans and the design and build and all that kind of stuff of the Aloha. And then over the next couple of years in FY18, FY19, with hopefully some ideas of occupancy in 2020, although people don't like us saying that, so we'll just say, I will confirm nor deny, we say we're moving into Aloha in 2020. But the idea being that over the next couple of years, there's going to be funding matched by the VISN to help us do the costs for activations and furniture and all that kind of stuff. So some of that money we have to agree to for the facility, which is again a part of the negotiation that's going on right now. And we're getting a confirmation letter, which has not been signed yet, but we're debating. But the VISN is very much aware of our concerns of the cost for Aloha. Right now, our projected costs just for what they're looking at our facility having to pony up per se is about $6.8 million, if I remember correctly, with the new cost estimates for the TI. We get a new updated estimate. Yes.
Our portion.
No,
No, that's the whole.
Yes, yeah, so needless to say, we're talking through, so some of that money comes from us, some of it comes from central office because it is a major lease. And while we're on that topic, I think it's important for everyone to know that we just signed off, so on, the minor project of the PRRP that was slated to be built here at Tripler, and again, that was a cost of a project that was awarded about 2008. And it was just coming in over the minor threshold of 10 million, so we had to give it to the Corps of Engineers, thinking they could salvage it for us and all that fun stuff. And they projected it to come out to be about 16.8 something million dollars to actually complete the project at a much smaller scale, so it almost kind of defeats the purpose. So after a lot of kind of discussion and debate and concerns and justifications, we sent a letter up to the visit and said, it's probably best that we just cancel. It's not the best thing to do because you're giving back money and you're not being able to follow through in a project that you kind of advocated for. But to ensure that we can focus our energies on the 4 other minor projects that we have, and we knew that the PRRP, no matter how we looked at it, would not come in under budget, the 10 million, to let it go. And that way engineering and team can just go focus on the projects that we currently have. So those are some of the decisions that we have to make for the organization. On behalf of the organization, it's not always looked upon favorably, but it's an honest approach and it's ethical decision making.
Okay, so Patrick, what I'd like to know is if you could give us a kind of a timeline on how we should request our space and resources for anticipated new employees.
So for new employees, I guess that would be initiated in the resources executive board. I think on the form there's a section to ask if you need additional space, IT equipment. That is where you would outline some of those needs. That way IT can respond, space committee can respond. Following that, you would have to, like Gary said, engage the space committee directly. We have a request form. We ask that you submit it at least a week before our monthly meeting, which is the second Friday of every month. That way we can prepare it and send it out as a read ahead to the committee members. And once we get that, then we can determine, do we need additional space? Like for the telehealth hubs, we needed to initiate a new lease. If it's something on a smaller scale, we can look at what is available in our current facilities. If it involves a renovation, if it changes the function of a space, that should be discussed in the space committee. If it's a very minor renovation that's required, then that's something that can go through engineering and just be handled as a small project with a work order. So
and how much time do you typically need for that? I'm just wondering, how much time do you typically need for a small project? I realize big ones, we just don't have anywhere to go, but if I have a new nurse who I need to add a desk and equipment for, and we located a space, how long does that take your committee?
Well, if it's just a single person and there is space available, then it should be fairly quick. We just have to check with logistics on furniture availability. If that's available in the warehouse, just scheduling that to get installed and making sure there's an Ethernet drop, workstation, that kind of thing. A month or two, yeah, a month or two, if it's one single person and we have the space. The challenge is when we don't have the space, which is usually the norm, then we have to start searching and trying to maybe look at moving people around, which is not ideal. Yes, Dan.
I think, and I think that part of the challenge there, or part of what needs to be said, is that if it's within the services space, so I know what Patrick and I typically think about are those requests that have to go to the space committee. But if it's within a services space, then they can make those contacts directly with logistics for the furniture and IT for the desk and that sort of thing. And the union and all of those, that's exactly correct. So that kind of thing is within the purview of the service chief. I just want to make that clear to everyone.
Thank you, Gary, for making the clarification. The space committee gets involved if it crosses the service lines. That's when we sort of try to negotiate between the services. But absolutely, if it's within your designated space already, then yeah, you can work directly with engineering and logistics. Thank you.
So, and I'm sorry, since we have about 5 more minutes, so I want to make sure if anybody has any pressing questions, they have an opportunity to do so. And I think, Sharon, you're saying yes, there is? Do want to give people an update that we are expected to move to the federal building, 300 Ala Moana, at the end of April. Sounds like we'll be able to at least do some transitioning and doing like the, what is it called, the checklist, like the end of, so punch list, like the end of April, beginning of May. So there's some revised, I think the Space Committee sent out a document, an email last week, asking for people to, if there's any interest out there across the organization, to have staff relocated into the federal building, because there are some staff, there's some extra space and desks available. And once we do the punch list, we found out last week too that the furniture should arrive by the mid-May, end of May, and be installed beginning of June. So really, we're looking at occupancy in the federal building by the 1st of mid-June, and transitioning identified services from here, the ACC, to the federal building, and trying to decompress the hill here, go into the E-wing, go down to federal building. But the idea is that things are moving along. The key thing I have out right now for the facilities team and for strategic planning and space committees is to start being able to engage the leadership team on, now that we have this empty space, who is going to occupy like the second floor predominantly of the E-wing, because that's where a lot of people will be leaving from. So I don't have an updated plan or proposal, but because it's been years in making, and so lots of transitioning has happened. But we're moving forward, and so this to us is a huge win, because it is a project that we have that is being completed early, not like on time or delayed, but early. And that is with a lot of committed effort from a lot of, yeah, thank you, Sam. Thank you very much. Oh, yes, a round of applause. Woohoo! So we're excited. I'm really excited about it. But because, again, this was an emergency lease that we got from VAPIHCS funds, and we executed quickly, worked closely with GSA. And I guess for some people who worked here for numerous years, it's actually going back home, because we used to occupy the GSA building, the federal building, many moons ago. So that is, well, space issues will be coming through. I don't know if there are any HR issues before our last minute or two. Just know that, again, our supportable FT is about 859, if I remember correctly, give or take a few numbers. And so those are kind of the hard line numbers that we work with in REB. If you're ever aboard on a first and third Wednesday at 1 o'clock, between 1 and 3, and you want to listen in on REB and participate, feel free. You may not be able to, you will not be able to vote, but at least you can see the process if you're interested. Mr. Stockwell, anything else?
Well, for those of you that endured, whether it's on video or here, so if you have a new exam room, you have to determine, is the exam table equipment or furniture? Is the desk furniture? Does the printer that's on the desk mean it's IT, or is it equipment? And if it can also fax and copy and scan, does that change the definition? And where you ask for the supplies for the room itself, the human that's actually going to do the work in the room, are all different committees that we have in our organization. And just to complicate it, there's at least 5 different appropriations that you can't mix the money and mingle between the 2 of them, and the timelines of when things go to contracting or each of the committees is different. So if you came and you thought, I'm going to get all my answers to resource questions and how does it work, what you might have discovered when you were here is, wow, we're a bureaucracy. There's a lot of rules, and people keep creating more rules, and so just trying to keep up with the times is pretty challenging. And so it's a difficult process to be a federal entity. We didn't even talk about who you can buy stuff from and what the rules are for who you can purchase from, to add to that complexity. It is very complex. We have a lot of groups that are working on trying to make ethical, right decisions. The point of the town hall was really to say, look, here's just a quick unveiling of how complicated it is. If you have more questions, or if you want to participate or sit in the room or study how the Vera model works, there are lots of resources where you can educate yourself on how the process works. But we have a lot of people whose job it is to try and help navigate that for us. And so I hope you don't leave discouraged. I hope you leave I'm not sure if encouraged is the right word, but at least, okay, I have a little better understanding of the complexity, and now let me find my speed dial on my phone to just call the people that know this stuff to help me navigate through what I need to get done. It's important to do what's right as an organization, so in the complexity of all these rules, the ethics group's question was, are we making decisions based on the right criteria? So in deciding an Aloha clinic or not, what's the motivation for doing that? And for all of us, every day at work, and I'll just leave you with this thought, we put the veteran first. That's why we're here, that's why we have a job, to serve those that have served, and our motivation for what we do, why we do it, how we prioritize our resources needs to put the veteran in the very front of all of those decisions. If we keep that in mind, then finding a way to navigate the system can be trying, but it's possible to do. But that's really the prioritization of how are we deciding, why are we deciding what we're going to do. Keep the veteran first. So I appreciate people enduring the discussion today. I know we have to wrap up, so thanks for those that asked questions. Thanks for all of our presenters from the various committees, or even our supply officer who's just setting the chairs up and then had to give a briefing on how the equipment committee works. So appreciate everybody's time today. Thank you very much.